Friends, today I want to talk on one episode from Fyodor Dostoevsky's novel, The Brothers Karamazov. This one episode I am going to talk on has fascinated and puzzled many readers all over the world. It is about an imaginary encounter between Jesus Christ and Grand Inquisitor. Fyodor Dostoevsky is counted among the most insightful and widely read Russian novelists of the 19th century. Like his compatriot Leo Tolstoy, he wrote many popular novels such as The Idiot, Crime and Punishment, and The Brothers Karamazov. These novels explore the brighter and darker places of human soul with their spellbinding narratives and brilliant dialogues. The Brothers Karamazov is a story of what we would call a dysfunctional family. The Brothers Karamazov is like a detective novel that centers on the murder of the father, Fyodor Karamazov. Fyodor Karamazov is an ugly, lecherous and cruel character. He is a man of whom no one knows what he will do next. He has 3 sons from 2 wives and 1 illegitimate son. The eldest son, Dmitri, is a sensualist like his father. He is in love with a woman with whom his own father is also in love. This creates a conflict between the father and the son. And that's why when the father is found murdered, he is convicted. But the readers know that he is not the actual murderer. It is the illegitimate son, Smerdyakov, who is the actual murderer. But he also sees himself as having acted out the desires of other sons. The third son is the most interesting and intellectual atheist. And the fourth and youngest son is Alyosha. He wants to be a monk. He is the most positive and spiritual member of the family, and he serves as a mediating figure for the whole family. When Ivan meets his brother Alyosha in some tavern, he challenges Alyosha's religious ideas by reading a prose poem he has written. The action of the poem takes place in 15th century Spain and involves an encounter between Jesus Christ and the Grand Inquisitor. Jesus Christ decides to revisit the earth 1500 years after his death, perhaps thinking that this time he will be given a grand welcome now that almost half the earth has turned Christian. For this he chooses Seville in Spain, and it is the time of Inquisition. You may know, the Inquisition was an ecclesiastical tribunal established in the 13th century by Pope for the suppression of the heretics and enemies of God. The so-called heretics were pronounced the enemies of God and they were burned publicly at the stake. When Jesus Christ descends into the town, he happens to see a funeral procession of a young dead girl passing the cathedral. At the request of her mother, the coffin is put at the feet of Jesus, and Jesus, out of his compassion, pronounces the words, "Maiden, arise," and surprisingly, the dead girl becomes alive. The crowd gathers around Jesus and hails the appearance of the Savior. While all this drama is going on, the cardinal of the cathedral, the Grand Inquisitor, arrives at the scene. He is an old man of 90 years age. Seeing him, the noisy crowds become silent. They bow before him. Contemptuously, the Grand Inquisitor orders the immediate arrest of Jesus. Such is his authority that no one dares oppose him. Jesus must be thinking, how come you, my own worshipper, can do this to me, even when you have my own cross around your neck? Then Jesus is put into some dark cell of the prison. This is the same kind of treatment that he had received 1500 years ago. Earlier, the Jews had imprisoned him and crucified him. This time, it is his own followers. The Grand Inquisitor visits Jesus in the prison cell in the middle of the night. Staring at him for a minute, he says, "Is it really you?" And then he continues, saying, "You have no right to add anything to what you have already said before. Why do you come here to interfere and make things difficult for us?" He says, "Well, I don't know who you really are, nor do I want to know whether you are really Jesus or a likeness of him. But no later than tomorrow, I shall pronounce you the weakest of the heretics and sentence you to be burned at the stake. And the very people who today are kissing your feet will tomorrow, at the hint of mine, will be ready to burn you at the stake. You have transmitted all your authority to the Pope and the Church, and now you have no right to come here and interfere in our business. As far as you are concerned, you had better stay away from the whole business." The Grand Inquisitor claims to know mankind with all our weaknesses far better than Christ. The old man claims that human creatures are weak and the masses require those who can dominate them. The Grand Inquisitor even claims that the devil, when he was trying to tempt Jesus when he was on earth, was right and Jesus was all wrong. Jesus sits silent, then he kisses Grand Inquisitor and departs silently. This is the whole episode from the novel. This episode is a blatant commentary on the subtle difference between the real divinity or the essence of religion and the organized repressive power structure of religion. The so-called organized religions are not so much interested in the real religiosity or divinity as they are in maintaining their own institutional sanctity, quite contrary to their professed functions. I am reminded of I.G. Gurdjieff's statement here. He said something to the effect that there was only one Christian on earth and he was the Christ himself. A very powerful statement. because all his followers only started imitating the outer forms of Christianity and its institutions without caring for the real essence of religion. If the Christ were to visit the earth, the followers would rather follow the authority of the church or the book than the Christ himself. This can be extended to all other religions and their founders also. In a sense, the enemy of Christianity is the Christian himself, or the enemy of Buddhism is the Buddhist himself, or the enemy of Jainism is the Jain himself, because they do not care for the real teaching of their founders. They are only content with the outer form of religion. And this episode from the Brothers Karamazov exemplifies this fact very excellently. Seldom has modern literature reached such a height of spiritual penetration. I hope this commentary of mine on one episode from this novel would have helped you to understand literature in a better way. Thank you.